Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for Tuesday, October 26. And it's nice to see the Russell push up above that 2,300. And that 2,300 is important to me because it's the top of minor group 1 of 2,000. So the normal process is getting a tested support on this level here will set the target for the next level, which is the 2,500. So that's what we're looking for, and we're also looking at a particular pattern here on top of 2,300. So we've had the arrival, we've had the reaction, and now we're going into the first high above the level, so we're about here somewhere. So we'll still need the fallback and then the setup to go long here. We're already long, but let's go in and have a bit of a look. So that's the classic trading levels pattern here. We've arrived here and we've kicked back, and now we're looking for, well, maybe this trend line top here might secure that top there as the first high above the level. On the was it maybe the tick chart? It was the tick chart. So let me just get some more. Okay, so a little triangle pattern, a bit of a complicated one, but it's kind of all there and nicely there as well, I have to say. So the D wave and then the A, B and C here for the E wave of 4. Now, I'm not too sure about the best way to count this to the upside. I'm not happy with this wave 1 and wave 2, so I think I might just remove that for the moment, for the time being. I can see here that we've got wave 1 and 2 in here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can still see that we still need to come up here a little bit further. And then we'll also see this pull back and then move off from around there. So this could be counted differently here. I'm okay with the 5 waves here as wave 1 and 2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know it's overlapping, and then 4. Or maybe we could put even 4 here for this. So there's a few little things here, but I'll just see how this sort of plays out. We've got a position here, here, and here now. So everything's going well here. We'll just continue to do what we're doing here, and I think we'll just use a bit of patience. So once we get, this is minor group 1 here, the top of the 300, wherever you see a number 3 is part of a group 1 somewhere. So here we've got 10, 20 and 30. So this is minor group 1 here, minor group, well, a minor level here, minor level 100, 200 and 300. They're minor levels that make up minor group 1. And then we have 10, 20 and 30 here that is sub-level, so subgroup 1 here. So the thing here to understand is that once we get a tested support on top of subgroup 1, what it does, it stops the order flow being pulled back to the closest largest number, in this case the 300, and the nature of the market, folks will start looking at the 50 up here, that 50 there. So that will be the next level to the upside. So it will lift it up to that point. So this is where we can go long from, because tested support on top of the 30 here severs the market being pulled to this point. So then we know that the market's leaving this number and starting the journey to the upside at that point. So just to recap, this could be counted differently. I just need to ponder it for a little while. This wave 4 is sort of okay. It doesn't overlap wave 1, but it's rather sharp. It's more like a wave 2, like wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2, and building up for a big third wave coming in through here. Just keep moving up, which I think is the case. So yeah, we may have to label this a little bit differently here as such. I'm not quite sure just yet the best way to do that. It's not a biggie anyway, because I can still see the market moving, and then all of this here would be wave 1 and 2 at that point there as well. But anyway, not a big deal. Let's just get support here first, and then we can mosey along. Okay, so over to the NASDAQ and the S&P. So everything's going according to plan, and yeah, everything's sort of pushing up. The S&P is leading to the upside, because the S&P is, you know, looking at these well, it's above these old highs here now. So yeah, it's looking all pretty good. In this case here, obviously 16,000 is important, but the 1650 to me would be more important. But I think what normally happens here is that we would have 16, 1650 and 17 here, and then what kind of happens is that this becomes the balance point within the whole area here. That's what kind of happens. So every number is important, and one would say 16 would be more important than 16,500, but as a trader this seems to be the balance line that will play out through here. So we'll just keep an eye on just pointing that out anyway for what it's worth. Trading level stuff. Let's just cruise in here and start looking at this. So I have to start, we started labeling it wave 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2 here. Kind of okay, it looks a little bit old, I must say, but the trend is playing out quite nicely here. But also the trend bothers me as well, because I can count 5 waves moving up through to here for 1 and 2, and then a small third wave and a fourth wave, and then a small fifth wave. So yeah, I'm wondering if I should actually be putting, yeah, I don't even know about this, the wave 4 looks a little bit small there, so a bit curious about that. There's a few things that don't sort of add up here, but at the end of the day the trend is to the upside. So that's the 50-60% or 60% retracement level, so we're moving through that now, so that's good. Don't need that. Yeah, so we'll push up. It's possible to look at this in different ways. Yeah, I can see it can be counted in different ways. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. So what we'll do is we'll just go step by step. So the next step here really is just tracking this 5-wave structure here. So we'll just keep an eye on that. Yeah, I mean, if you've got a different count, don't think that I'm right and you're wrong, okay? Because this is going to be adjusted at some point. How it's going to be adjusted, I'm not quite sure. Once I see a bit more price action, that's fine. But we navigated the last correction okay, and this still needs to push up here for that. Let's have a look at the S&P. So the S&P is pretty much taken out the top here. So we could probably, we have seen it stall here at the old high, which is natural, and it's pretty natural for a market to, once it's reacted from here, to push up, but then to come back and test it as well. That would just be normal. So I think there's something like that we need to be looking at here. Obviously the trend is to the upside, and I'm not sure how we'll get to the 5,000, but I know that the market, I mean, we don't see the S&P at 5,000 before, so to speak. So it's kind of all new stuff. But I have to say, in terms of the trading levels, I just relate it to human nature, and I could relate this to the number 5 here being like a penny stock at 5 cents or 50 cents or $5 or $50. Do you know what I mean? So they're all just sort of they're just numbers to me. I don't see them as like, wow, we may or may not make this is the second strongest number. We're going to the 5,000. It's how we're going to get there is always the tricky little bit, and we'll have to adjust this wave structure here. I mean, all of this here could end up just being wave 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here, as I explained yesterday. It could be something big like that, or sometimes this market's got a habit of just creeping along. So we could just keep creeping along here. So we're not going to get all the wave count right, but there's a couple of things that, if you're holding ETFs or something, then this is the number that you're looking at. And we know the numbers along the way to give us a bit of a hard time. So yeah, so we don't have to worry about the wave count too much. Of course, it's always nice to get the corrections right and so on and so on. But yeah, anyway, that's where we are. Let's just cruise in here and have a closer look at this. So where are we? So we'll go to the 4-hour chart. One of the things that I need to mention here is that that on the futures market, we've got that as the low. And it makes quite a nice little impulse wave to the upside. On the cash market, the SPX, this is the low. So it's probably we need to take it from this low here, but I may have to sort of, I've been dancing between the two, eeny, meeny, miny, mo sort of thing. And this looks like a nice little third wave here, but it's not a third wave strong enough to be part of this particular 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, plus the correction's too small. So yeah, we can put it here and go 1 and 2 and 3 here. Yesterday we were looking for a blue wave 4 to pull back here, but we didn't really pull back very much. So this is rather big here for wave 2 pullback. It's bigger than wave 1. So that means that it's big and it's complicated. So that means that this wave 4 will be simple and sharp. So it's possible, like the NASDAQ, that we could put that there. And then look at this here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to here. So it is possible to have that there. But it's still just a little, it's even too small, you know. So yeah, what we'll do is that we'll understand this 5 waves moving up here, and I think that it'll move to very close to the 4600, so that's a nice target. And there's a couple of little things along the way, but like group 2 in here, the 45, 80, 72 and 65, and the midpoint here at 550 that it looks like it's got support on already, so that's all good. So look, we'll track that 5 waves here and we'll sort that out. If we're going to get a pullback to this wave 4, if we've got 2 choices here, we'll either pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, right? So that's a possibility at that point. So we'll need to acknowledge that. That's one thing. The other thing that could play out here, just shooting the breeze a bit here, is that when we move up here, let's just draw it up here, when we move up to the 46 here, there's a chance that we can come back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, but there's also a chance we can come back 40% or 60% and then continue to push up again. So just be careful about, we can see here that all the retracements are very small, so we're not pulling back very much. So we're in a strong part of the trend. We know we're at the old highs over there, and as I mentioned before, this coming into this little area here were the old highs. So it's okay for the market to push up through the old and then come back and test it, you know. So it could test it through here, through these old highs here, or if we get the wave 4, it could sink a little bit deeper. But just be prepared for a little bit more volatility and swinging at from the 46 back, checking back at that point. Once we get into group 2 here, the 4650, once we climb into that, then we're leaving the old high and we're leaving this number and we're heading up higher at that point. Obviously that's a long way away, but still it's nice to know that 4650 that can be used as, you know, as part of group 2 and part of the trend. So let's just cruise in a little bit further here onto the hourly chart. So yeah, I just want to go back over this again. So I'm not quite sure about what I should do here just yet, because it does make a nice A, B and C wave to that point, you know. And then it's quite a nice 1 and ABC for 2 as well here. So I've got a 1 and 2 here, and I've got a 1 and 2 here. So I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with this just yet. But as I mentioned, we don't really have to worry about too much, because we'll be pushing up to here. We'll either come back 50-60% here and then push up again, or the worst case scenario is we're going to come back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here and then push up. Now obviously that's a big deal for short-term traders. That's a lifetime away, you know, so everybody's a little bit different. So for the really short-term traders, let's just go to the tick chart and pick that up. So just assuming this is wave 4 here, we've got a nice little impulse wave up here for wave 1, a nice corrective wave back here for wave 2 here, and then another nice little 5 waves up here, another sharp correction here for this, and that can go there now. This is 1 and 2 here. Maybe that needs to go there too. I need to pull that apart a bit further, but anyway, I think we're on track here. But as you can see, if we take this wave 4 here, that means we'll need wave 1 and 2 here, and then we're going to go up for 3, which is here, right? And then in that 2 to 3 there, we're looking for 5 waves of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for that. And inside of 2 to 3 here, we're also looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're on the close at the moment, so shit, anything can happen, but basically it's like this, you know. And then we'll have another little wave 4 here, and then we'll have a wave 5 up to here. So when I said the 46 will be above or below it, we can also look at, well, below it we've got group 2, and then above it we've got group 1. So we've got 10, 20 and 30, and then the next level after that, that's right, 50. So the swing range for the 46 will be group 1 above and group 2 below. So you don't want to get really involved in anything here. As you're coming up here, you need to make the decision if you're going to take profit here or you're going to handle that and then go a little bit higher. I mean, I've learned over the years it's best to take the money off the table once you get to the number. It saves you a lot of stress. And then you also, while this is moving up, you know, that money can be put somewhere else, you know, while the market's correcting. Well, that's what we used to do with stocks anyway. It's a little bit quicker with the indices, of course, and you got to be pretty good to be switching over from indices to currencies or to commodities. It's another story. And then moving that money around the planet, like the big bond traders chasing each other around the planet from Japan back to the US, finding out who's covering what. So there we go. That's pretty much it. So a pretty safe little journey to the upside here with all of this. I don't know what folks have done with their trades, but we had a half a position here, and then we got through all of this and we got to this point where we had another position, and then we've added a position here and here, and that's sort of it really. So we're just sort of building into the trend, obviously, but and I haven't really placed a stop in here because there's no point in placing a stop because we're in a bullish trend and we don't want to be stopped out, and you shouldn't be over trading anyway. You know, I mean, even one small futures contracts, whatever those minis are, I'm not sure what they are, but yeah, less is more. Okay, so that's all of that. Sorry to waffle on so long. Yeah, all good. So just to recap a little bit, let's just go back and just have a quick look at the daily chart for a moment. So yeah, so we've got little position in here and here and here and here. So we're building in sort of quite nicely, and our target is the 5,000. We haven't had any rough spots yet, so we'll keep an eye on it. The only rough spot I can think of along the way is that if somehow we look at all of this as 1 and 2 here, basically this here, if we're forced to look at all of this as 1 and 2, and then we do get 3 up here at 46, and we do come back as a nice 4th wave here, then we'll have the 5th wave here, and then we'll have a deeper correction, an ABC pattern here, and then up, because all of this will just become wave 1 then, and then back for wave 2. So it's this wave 2 that could place a bit of pressure on us, so we'll need to be a bit mindful of that at the time, because it's normally, when we're looking at 5 waves coming up here, it's normally the 3rd wave that hits the 5,000, and then the 4th wave, and then the 5th wave up here, creating the first high above the level. So this will be like wave 1 coming into this base, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. That's the normal process, just to give you a bit of a spin on that, you know. That's what normally that's how it normally plays out. Otherwise, if we don't have that, if we don't have this 1 and 2 to come back like that, then it's just pretty much a steady climb all the way, you know, just doing what it's done before over here. Just keep, you know, doing that kind of thing. But it looks a little bit more powerful at this point. It's not struggling yet. It's not struggling. It's still, I don't know how to explain this. It's sort of like it's like a curve. It's like a curve that way. So it's still building. It's not a curve. It's not that way. So it's still building. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Thanks. Cheers.